This is the private road I wanted to come down the other day but got turned back. Running down the back of the blast furnace. I'm back down at the South Gear again. This time I drove down that road I got turned back at last week. It's just as windy. I've turned the microphone round the opposite way, so hopefully I'm blasting through it. I won't know until I get back. But the reason I'm down here today is I want to test out a piece of kit I've got which might make the sound a lot better than it has been. We'll see whether I've wasted my money or not anyway. So I'm going to potter on down the beach a bit to give myself some walking distance so I can test out this equipment. So I'll get back to you. So this is the equipment I'm using at the moment. It's a Canon 700D digital SLR with an 18 to 55mm lens on it. And when I first got it, I used it with a cotton wool over the camera's microphone holes, and that cut out a bit of wind noise, but wasn't too good. So then I got the Trackstar microphone, directional microphone, which you see sat onto, which is facing backwards, and that's a big improvement on the camera's microphone, but in heavy wind it's still not very good. So some time ago actually I made a purchase and I got this kit here, which is a wireless microphone, so it's transmitter and receiver, works on about 600 megahertz, so that I think is in the UHF, and it's the BOYA by-WM6 Lavalier wireless microphone. So I'm going to put that into action for the first time, although I've had it for quite a few months now, and see what difference that'll make, especially in the wind noise. Right, so at the moment I'm working on the Trackstar microphone, and I've got the transmitter here, and I've put the microphone with the little clip under me there, just like you see on TV. I've laid it underneath my jacket, and then there's two sockets on the top, one marked microphone and one marked line in. So I'm just going to plug it into the line in, and then it has a little knurled nut on that you screw it down tight with so it doesn't come off, which is quite good. You don't want to be talking away and find out your microphone leads come out. Then it's got a power button on it, and it's got 3 buttons here. So in a minute I'll connect the one onto the camera, but I'll show you what I'm going to do when I do that. Then switch it, press the power button on, and it comes up on channel 1, and I've got a solid light there. I thought the light flashed until it synchronized with the receiver, as this being the transmitter. Right, so I'll switch anyway. I've got channel 1's come up. I can press the set button and it'll allow me to change the volume. It's set at 22 at the moment. I'm just going to increase it. I'm just going to increase it to 24. Press the set, and then it allows me to set the channel. I'll put the channel on channel 6. So we're on channel 6. I've set it on channel 6 and we're at volume 24. So I'll just switch it off for the minute, and I'll now put the receiver on to the camera, and we'll see how that goes. I don't have any earphones with me, so it's going to be a bit of a job knowing how it's working until I get back. Now this has got, I've got the lead here that goes into the receiver and into the camera. This also has two connections on the top, one for the output which goes into the camera, and another one for headphones, so I would be able to, or somebody else would be able to listen to it. And it's also got a screw on attachment to fit in the shoe of the camera. The only thing I don't like about that is, to get maximum range you should have both antennas in the same orientation, and if I screw this into the camera then it's going to leave it in this sort of horizontal plane, whereas if this is clipped, this being the transmitter's clipped to my belt, this is going to be in the vertical plane. So the two antennas are going to be in different planes, which I don't think you're going to get maximum distance that way. Be better if this was strapped to the tripod, perhaps, with it sticking vertical. You would get more range. Anyway, we'll see how much range you get with the way we cobble it together and what difference it makes to the wind noise. Right, I'll just take this one off. Right, so that is the BOYA receiver fixed to the camera. As you can see, the antenna's sticking out forwards in a horizontal direction. So we'll fire that up on channel 6 and we'll see if we get any sound through the camera. Right, so the boat was 50 yards, the top of that bank behind the boat will be about 100 yards. I can pace it out. I've got to do proper pacing measurements, which I've never done yet, but I'm taking it as 30 steps, as in if you're using your pace beads, so that'd be 1, 2, 3. Every time one leg hits the ground you count it. So if you step off with the left, then it's every time your left leg hits the ground you count 1. And I'd have to measure it out, of course, but you wouldn't hear me now with the Trackstar, or certainly not with the ordinary camera mic. Now when I get up here there's going to be tremendous wind noise, so we'll see how that performs. I'm in the full blast now of the wind. So we're about 100 yards away. It's a good view up here. I might bring the camera up here and spin it round. Good view of Paddy's Hole. Good view of the turbines, good view of the defunct blast furnace, good view of the cranes on Teesport, petrochemicals behind, power station, Hartlepool. Right, I'll spin one 360 and you'll be able to hear the wind. I can hear the wind now whistling across my ears. The wind's blowing directly at the microphone now, and I'm turning round and it should be partially shielded now by the lapel of my coat. Anyway, that'll be a good test. You don't want to fall down here, there's a lot of glass. and bottles. I wonder if you can hear that. Hear those bottles and glass clinking. Right, well that was this Boya's first outing, and I've had it for months. If it works well, then it'll have a lot of service. But the problem we have is that a right hand spoon or a left hand spoon? The problem we have is we come out to do a bit of bushcraft and it turns into a technology marathon. Totally the opposite direction from what our intentions are. So, about 100 quid this thing costs. Is it worth it? That's a lot of money. What I was picking up while I was over there was left hand and right hand spoons. Is that in focus? Left hand and right hand spoons. Mussel shells. That saves you a lot of work. And it's perfect spoon. Bit of stick on there. Bit of stick there. That's my right hand spoon. That's my left hand spoon. Right and left hand spoons. Got some sand in my eye now. Right, enough of that. Let's get the dinner on.